Hey friends, what up? Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about the body mechanics behind performing split time opposites. This is usually considered to be one of the most, if not the most challenging timing and direction mode that people pick up. And I've found some tricks for helping people learn it. So I want to share at least one of them with you in today's video. But before we jump into that, I do just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecha, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterror Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these amazing businesses and what they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. And special thanks to non-business friends of the channel, Johnny Howard, Lain Mochinsky, and Pekha Pekkonen. Thank you all so very much for your support for my work and my mission. All right, so this is another one of those things that recently popped up on my live stream classes over on Crowdcast. And you know, I remember when I was first learning poi that learning how to do split time opposites was kind of a really unique challenge in a lot of ways because, you know, after all, you can just tell somebody to move their hands around together to get them to do together same. This feels relatively intuitive. You tell them, you know, hey, flap your arms like the wings of a butterfly, and that'll get them to together opposites. Heck, you can even tell them to do the crawl stroke, and that will get them into the world of doing split time same direction. But there's really, really few things that we learn in the course of our lives that really set us up for the motion of split time opposites. The one exception, of course, I always think of is just double Dutch jump roping, but not everybody does that growing up. So finding a proper way to do that can be a little bit of a challenge for a lot of people, not the least of which because, you know, as people are working from very, very little kinesthetic information, it's really tempting every time your arms separate to switch into split time same direction because that feels a lot more intuitive to us. But I do have some tricks, and like I showed in the last video about how to do together same, there's also some kinesthetic tricks here that not only will make split time opposites more, I guess, more intuitive may not be the way to put it, perhaps more accessible, but also doing it in such a way that it's going to set your body up for success with a lot of things down the road too. Yeah? All right, so let's take a look at this. Now you may remember, if you haven't seen it already, I'll go ahead and link to it both down in the description as well as up in the cards, the lesson that I did about moving your arms in together same, and how I pointed out the good way to do that is to turn your upper body back and forth as you're performing together same, specifically because it saves you some work in terms of, like, if your upper body is moving your hands around, it saves you from having to, like, really reach back and forth with your hands as you would if you just kept your shoulders square to your audience, as I'm doing right now. Which, you know, a lot of people that when they learn split time opposites will try and do something similar, where they're basically, and this is actually really interesting if you look at it from the side, because it means that they're reaching pretty far out in front of them in order to kind of keep split time opposites going here. And very frequently that means that you don't leave a lot of room between your hands, and you're going to need that room when you get into a lot of flower work. So here's how we get there. Number one, we need to go back to our old friend, moving our upper body back and forth, like so. In fact, every time I switch sides with split time opposites, I am switching up which shoulder is pointing towards my audience, yeah? And of course, I'm doing the same thing I always do, where I'm keeping my head isolated and stable as my shoulders are moving back and forth, right? Now what's going on with my hands? Well, I think this is a dance from the 50s called the mashed potato. Don't like quote me on that, but literally it's just this. I'm just slicing my hands back and forth. But notice I'm keeping my hands square with my shoulders the entire time. I'm just working them back and forth like so. If you look at it from the side, it looks like this. Quite vogue, right? And then I just turn my upper body back and forth. I swear, this is all there is to this pattern. But let's pick it apart nonetheless. Yeah. So I'm going to start with my upper body turned over here to the left, and I'm going to start with my right hand up, my left hand down, and I'm going to sweep my hands past each other. I want to see a point at which my hands go past, pointing straight out away from me, like that, and then back to having my hands apart. Now I'm going to turn my upper body to point my left shoulder towards the camera. And again, I'm going to sweep my two hands past each other, like I'm, drawing, opening and closing a shark's mouth or something like that. And I want to have a visual check that I see my two hands swing past each other, right about at shoulder level. Yeah, this is important. Now that right hand is going to reach up, left hand is going to reach down. I really, really do need to emphasize here that one of those things that you're looking for is to make sure that whichever hand is going towards the top, it's actually going towards the top. It is reaching above your head. It's not head level, it's not shoulder level, it's reaching up. We are actually exploring our vertical space here, yeah? Awesome. Now that the right hand is up, I want you to turn your right shoulder to face the camera and sweep the two hands past each other. Turn that left shoulder to face the camera. Right hand comes up, right shoulder faces the camera, left hand comes up, left shoulder faces the camera. You notice the pattern here? When my right hand goes up, I point my right shoulder towards the camera. When my left hand comes up, I point my left shoulder towards the camera. And it's funky because as you're doing this, this is going to feel so different from whatever attempts you may have made in wall plane to either approximate double Dutch jump roping or even just like try and keep count with your split time. It literally just becomes I sweep and turn, I sweep and turn, I sweep and turn, I sweep and turn, like so. Even though the appearance of it is more or less the same, the feeling of it is so very, very different. So again, let's start from here actually. Right hand goes up, point the right shoulder. Left hand goes up, point the left shoulder. Right hand goes up, point the right shoulder. Left hand goes up, point the left shoulder, like so. Now your work is to try and start to make that turn happen instantaneously on either side as you go back and forth, yeah? And once you get a good feeling for this, guess what? You will find yourself doing split time opposites. I went through the steps there quite quickly. Like, you really do just want to think that it's like, okay, turn, 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 and then see if you can maybe count it down in your head. Think like 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, turn, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, turn, 1 1000, 2 1000, turn, 1 1000, 2 1000, turn, 1 1000, turn, 1 1000, turn, 1 1000, turn, 1 1000, turn, and then just 0, turn, 0, turn, 0, turn, 0, turn. And when this starts to feel comfortable, you can start just trying to go straight, back, and forth. And of course, get your head used to tracking straight towards the camera / audience as you're doing it, right? Of course, the benefits of this are exactly the same as they were for doing together same, in that it creates that, when you have your hands square with your shoulders, it creates that middle portion where once you get around to doing your flowers, you're going to note that that space in the middle is really, really helpful for doing your flower petals, like so, yeah? And again, as you're watching me do this, it's not something that's super obvious to the audience that I am switching the orientation of my shoulders each time, as opposed to if I were to do it like this, where there's a real clear gap between my hands as they go to either side, and maintaining that space between my, and maintaining the relationship of those two poi in that space is not that easy, as opposed to moving those shoulders back and forth like so. Doesn't that just look more pleasing? Doesn't everything just kind of match up in much more aesthetically pleasing ways? Yeah, yeah. So that is my tip for getting down, having your arms in split time opposites. Yeah, it's a little bit of a process. I absolutely will cop to that. But I think it looks good in the long run. I think that this teaches you form that is going to make your flowers look awesome. And, you know, it's also going to give you it's going to save your shoulders in the long run too from having to do a lot more extra effort. So I'm a fan. Yeah, you can tell me what you think of this means of learning to do split time opposites yourselves. Yeah, so if you would like to check out those live stream classes that I'm teaching these days, you can do that by heading to crowdcast.io/DirectsFactorPoi, and you can register for whatever classes happen to be current at the moment, which, as I'm recording this, I'm in Unit 3, which is all about doing tic-tacs, and eventually it's going to take us into, you know, tuck turns and windmills and like basically the beginnings of body tracers and everything. So yeah, you should check that out. And if you got anything out of this video, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help other people find this video and of course to help my channel grow. This video would not be possible were it not for the awesome support of all of these nice people right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon. They, and the people listed down in the description, help to make this video and all the videos on this channel possible. Thank you one and all for your very generous support. If you out there watching are not currently a supporter, but would like to become one, because I mean, why wouldn't you? You can do that by heading on over to patreon.com/DirectsFactorPoi. I will leave the link to that down in the description, as well as up in the cards if you're watching on YouTube. There you can get access to a whole bunch of awesome rewards, as well as you'll be helping me out in my mission of bringing poi spinning and flow arts to the wider world and helping people connect with their brains and their bodies. So go check that out, please, and thank you. If you're a fan of this style of lesson, I have a whole playlist full of other lessons just like this one. I will leave a link to that playlist down in the description, as well as up on screen here if you're watching on YouTube. Also, the YouTube algorithm thinks that based upon your past viewing habits, you'll really like this top video here, so maybe give that a shot as well. Either which way, thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a good one. Get out and flow today, and I'll see you with a new video very soon. Peace.